Good morning, YouTube. Welcome back to the Adventurer's Tome Guide. I am Aegis, and today we're going to be finishing off the continent of Tortoyk. Now, last time we left off just before Tortoyk's heart, so we're going to finish that up and then head on into the dungeons. There's going to be a few more collectibles that we have to gain, as well as all the cooking ingredients and everything else that we have to do at the very end to finish up. But let's get right into it. Okay, Forest of Giants now. We're going to run on up. The first thing we are going to do is actually finish off Hidden Story number 4, so we won't have to worry about that timer anymore. And heading up this way. There it is right here on this cliff ledge. And finally, with that out of the way, we can breathe a little bit. We're going to triport right to Tortoyk's arm here. We're going to mount back up and make our way down the cliff face here. It's a bit out of the way, but there is one monster that we need to kill. All the way through this winding rock canyon. We're going to head all the way down. Elite monster number 9 is down here. And there's elite monster number 9. And with that out of the way, we're going to mount back up and circle all the way around. You can also triport back to get to where we're headed to and just take the lift down into the next valley. Not sure which is quicker. I guess depending on your luck with the lift, it may be faster to take the lift, but I chose to walk the whole way. And there's the next elite right there. Okay, with that out of the way, we can head up to Tortoyk's head. And we're going to head up this way and circle on around and back down a little bit to pick up the last remaining things. There's the next elite right there. And we can mount back up now. Vista number 6 is just down here. And finally, right down the lift here is Vista number 6. You can go on ahead and grab this. All right, and with that out of the way, we are all set with the bulk of the zones. All that's left is to finish off one last hidden story and pick up some cooking ingredients in the dungeons. So first things first, we're going to head back to the Skyreach Step. Gonna head to the middle triport right here. And since we're back near the field boss, we will check up on that field boss. He does drop cooking ingredient number 7. So we do need to kill him at some point in order to not only finish off the Adventurer's Tome field boss collection, but also to finish off the cooking collection. And there's Caspiel right there. Anytime you catch him up, make sure you finish him off for that chance to drop cooking ingredient number 7. We got it on the first try. It may be a guaranteed drop. I'm not sure. But if you don't get it, you just got to wait around for another half hour or hop zones and find one where he is up. So we're going to continue on with what we intended to do. That's going to be to head around all the way down this way and into this little side area over here. You can take the lift if you have good timing like I do. Or you can climb up manually by the cliff. Up on top of this plateau now. Gonna head all the way into the corner over here. And there's Hidden Story number 6, part 1. Alright, from there we head back to the Mokoko village. And first things first, before you grab the next part of the Hidden Story number 6, make sure you talk to Daku here and finish off another Story 1. And once that's done, examine the bongos right here. That will give you number 6, part 2. Gonna head to the Sweetwater Forest. We actually have to go into the Pirate's Den dungeon. So from here, we're gonna mount up and head on into the dungeon. And it's actually not as time sensitive as I thought. We have half an hour to do it. So go on in, complete the dungeon on whatever difficulty you have not done yet. In this case, normal. And take your time. And because of the size of this dungeon, we're just gonna skip on to the end. The final part of the hidden story is pretty much at the very end of the dungeon. Alright, and with the dungeon all done, these papers on the ground right here, investigate those, and we are done with Hidden Story number 6. Okay, one last thing to grab in the Forest of Giants in Tortoyk's heart, actually. So go on ahead and triport up to the head. And mount on up and head on into the dungeon. And once again, just like the last one, make sure you pick the difficulty that you have not done it on, whether it's normal or hard. In my case, I've already done both, so we're just going to jump in on hard, since supposedly it does give a higher chance of dropping those RNG collectible items. Okay, inside the dungeon now. Unfortunately, cooking ingredient number 6 is towards the very end of the dungeon, so we're just going to skip on through to the end. Okay, and just towards the end of the dungeon here, right before we get to all the moving pathways, we're going to come to cooking ingredient number 6. And there it is right there. Just investigate around all of these eggs. Okay, from here, we're all set with the dungeon. You can go on ahead and finish it up if you like. Otherwise, just head on over to Mokoko Village to finish up. Okay, back at Mokoko Village now. Gonna mount up and finish off what we have to do here. Talk to the cooking ingredient merchant. And first up, we're gonna buy the boiled Mokoko egg for 100,000. We'll come back and get the cashew fruit later. Just go on ahead, buy this. And we have to leave that in our inventory for 1 minute and then use it within the next minute. If we wait 2 minutes or more, it turns into a rotten egg and becomes useless and we have to purchase another one. Now head on over here to the dessert merchant and pick up the sweet honey right here for another 190k. This one's actually pretty expensive to finish off all the cooking. And then we head on up to the cook. And go on ahead and talk to the cook and craft up everything that you have. Come back to the cashews after. All right, and you can always double check with the egg. That's what we need right there. If we wait another 30 seconds, it's going to turn rotten. So let's use it right now, along with everything else. Okay, and with that out of the way, head back to the cooking ingredient merchant. We could have done this all at once, but because there's quite a bit of explanation involved in the third cooking collectible, I wanted to save that for the end due to the 1 minute timer on the egg. So what you have to do here is buy a bunch of cashew fruit, just like the Eastern Lutera dough. You have to buy a bunch of them, and you need to get 10 rough cashew powder and 2 fine cashew powder out of it. So we need to buy a minimum of 12, so we're just going to start off and buy 12 and see how that goes. And we take them back to the cook to have him craft them up. So right here, have him craft the maximum. Okay, and after wasting a ton of silver, as you can see, I only have 17 rough cashew powder and not a single fine cashew powder. Something to keep in mind after looking into it more is that the chance of getting the fine cashew powder is exceedingly rare. So I do not recommend attempting this unless you have a ton of silver to spend and you're close to already maxing out the collectibles and the rapport with the 3 NPCs that you need. Otherwise, frankly, it's just not worth it. One collectible is not going to be enough to take you into the 80th percentile, and even if it was, 5 stat points isn't really all that great. It's really not useful unless you're going to push that full 100% because you've already maxed out the collectibles and have the rapport. And now, with my wallet quite a bit lighter and all the collectibles that we can easily get out of the way, we are officially done with the island of Tortoyk. Next up, we'll be moving into Annika. Okay, and that concludes this portion of the Adventurer's Tome guide. Make sure that you are subscribed to the channel so that you don't miss my guides and walkthroughs. And as always, if you like the video, make sure to give it a thumbs up and leave a comment down below on what you would like me to create a guide for next. And until tomorrow, may you all enjoy your adventures in Arkesia.